As a new volleyball coach, one of the hardest things to understand about volleyball is how to teach base position and rotation. So that could be creating your lineup and how to put your players in order for a match. I'm going to make it really simple for you. All you need to do is you need to understand these three concepts. The first concept is that the court is divided into the front row and back row. The second concept is that players typically specialize in one of three areas on the court, either the left side, middle, or right side, and that players stand opposite from their position partner in the lineup. Now, position partner isn't a technical volleyball term, but I'm going to use it because I think it makes sense. Let's talk about what base is to begin with. Base is where players stand on the court when the opponent has the ball during a rally. So it's after your team has served, your team will run into base. After the opposing team has served at you and you've returned it from serve receive, your team will run to base. So I always tell my players, think of this as your home base position, and that seems to help with the understanding. Okay, so our first concept is that there is a front row and a back row. This is my beautiful illustration of a court with the net at the top. We're going to split the court using that 10-foot line. So we have the front row and we have the back row. Pretty simple. The second concept is that there are three areas on the court. We have the left side, the middle, and the right side. Combining concepts number 1 and number 2, we can see the different positions on a volleyball court. We've got left front, middle front, and right front, and then we've got left back, middle back, and right back. These are all the names of positions that players will play. This is not the confusing part. The confusing part is when we try to make a lineup. In volleyball, we rotate clockwise. So let's say we rotate one from here. Our left back will now come up to the front row and would be standing next to our other left front. We don't want two left front players in the front row, and that would also put two right side players in the back row. All we need to do is just switch up a couple players and have them start opposite of their position partner in the lineup. So the right sides are going to be opposite of each other on the court. Same with middles, same with left side players. When they step on the court, they should know that there are two people in between them and their position partner on both sides. After you have your correct rotation written down for your lineup, let's say that your team has the serve. As soon as your right back player serves the ball, everyone needs to run to base. So in this instance, all that's going to happen is that left front and right front are going to switch, and they're going to run to their base positions because everyone else is already in base. You can see by the squares a general idea of what each position is in charge of protecting on the court. But as a bonus, I wanted to show you where players will typically stand on the court when they are in base position. So you can see the X's on the court that show where players stand. Our front row is all going to be up at the net ready to block. This includes players who are not tall enough to get their fingers over the net. We still want them up there. That's a long discussion that we can get into another time. Then when we look at our back row, you can see that the wings or the left and right side players are up on the 10-foot line or maybe just a little bit behind playing defense, and middle back stays deep. This is traditional, simple, basic base for I would say 95% of teams, maybe even more than that. I also wanted to include another bonus for you guys because it seems simple in the first rotation, and then when you get into rotation 2, it starts to get more and more and more confusing. With our right back starting back to serve, now let's say we've lost the rally, the other team is serving, we win the rally back, it's time to rotate. So again, we're going to rotate clockwise. Now that left front player is going to rotate and they become a back row player. Same with the left back player. As soon as they rotate, they come up into the front row. This is often when teams will make substitutions. If I have another player who I'd prefer to have back passing in left back, now's the time that I would put them in for the player who was previously playing left front. If I have a player who is just a stud, I'll leave them in and they'll play all the way around. Now everyone has shifted one position, and whereas before only 2 people needed to switch, now only left front is in their current base position. So as soon as the serve is made, everyone will run again to their base position. All right, and that is a very brief description of base. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it, but it does take teams a little bit of time to figure it out, so just be patient. Usually my club teams will take about a month or 2 to really get comfortable with these rotations, and if you switch positions for anyone throughout the season, there will be some growing pains. Be patient, but also expect your players to learn this. This is why I recommend having your players watch this video as well, because not only is it difficult for them to learn, but it is substantially more difficult for a coach to remember base position and rotations for 6 players on the court, not to mention all of the substitutions that need to come in. Do yourself a favor and have your players watch this video. So that is a simple explanation of how base works. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. This is perfect for 5th grade up through 8th grade, just to keep it nice and simple without overthinking. Thanks for watching and good luck.